When events like the Boston Marathon bombing happen, we hear stories of heroism and courage. Not often mentioned is fear, but that's just what many are facing in light of yesterday's events. And for more on this, we turn now to family therapist Dr. Linda Mintle. Linda, fear is oftentimes a natural response to situations like this. Even people who don't live in Boston are wondering, could this happen in my hometown? What's the danger if we hold on to fear and anxiety?
Well, like you said, Wendy, fear is a natural response, but fear causes stress. And when stress continues to be held into our bodies and it turns into anxiety, it can do a lot of physical damage to a person's health. It can do a lot of emotional damage, and that people get crippled sometimes by the anxiety, maybe the fear of going out of their house. It can paralyze a person. It can create agitation, sleeplessness, restlessness, create problems with eating. So if we hold on to anxiety for any period of time, it's that long-term chronic fear and anxiety that can do tremendous damage to the body.
How should parents be talking to their children who are seeing this played out on TV?
It seems like you and I are having these conversations so regularly about trauma. And one of the things we continue to tell parents, and we'll say it again in this tragedy, is that you need to talk to them in an age-appropriate way. You need to make sure that you limit their exposure, because again, we know from children watching trauma that the more they watch, the more psychological damage that can do. But I think it's also a great opportunity to tell children about the reality of good and evil in our world, and to give them a biblical perspective on that. So to tell kids, we're on the side of the good guys, and to remind them that there were a lot of good guys in this situation. We saw firefighters and police helping people. We saw people opening up their homes, offering meals, doing whatever they could to help people.
Well, as you mentioned, the reality is we're living in an unsafe world. Just a few seconds remaining. How can we best prepare ourselves for the traumas we're likely to encounter?
Well, the only thing that we have control over, Wendy, is really, they're going to continue to happen. Look at Israel and other countries where they're constantly dealing with these types of things. So we have to be prepared. We have to remember that God is in control, that nothing happens away from his watchful eye, that he will be with us through this. He'll walk us through it. He'll get us through the situation, and that he offers healing and compassion and mercy. We need to be the hands of God through this and show people that it is possible, if we have Christ in us, to live in peace during very tumultuous times.
Comforting advice and much needed. Dr. Linda Mintle, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Wendy.